So hello, while waiting for your classmates, let's check kung ano ba yung status ng mga assignments natin. Like written work and performance tasks. Okay, so again, pag written work, pwedeng ulitin. Kapag performance tasks, pwede rin naman ulitin kasi baka meron akong mga performance tasks na ino-consider ko yung mga high school. Anyway, naririnig ba ako? And can everyone see my screen?
Yes po.
Okay, so yan. Let's check though it's early pa naman, like 20 days, back 17 days, but yeah, as you can see, meron ng mga students na nagsasagot. So for ABM, for the written work, number 1 and performance task number 1, 12 out of 41 na yung mga nagsasagot. Okay, ibig sabihin mga completed na and then submitted na. So, itong mga nagsasagot dito, so meron pa silang time para balikan kapag meron pa silang hindi pa na-perfect na written works and performance tasks. And another one is, I think merong students na nakapagsabi sa akin na yung ibang activity sa practical, research 2, yun din yung sinesend ni Sir Mark, So, mas better, nasagot muna natin yung mga activities natin kasi pwede itong i-perfect Tapos saka natin sagutan yung kay Sir Mark para perfect na rin yung kay Sir Mark. Okay, and then for gas, okay, so 3 out of 16 students. Yan, so ayan, meron ng mga nagsasagot, di ba? Sabi ko sa inyo meron kayong mga classmates na mahilig mag-advance. Saka masisipag talaga. Okay, let's check sa HE, practical to HE. Okay, so as you can see, sa HE, masisipag din sila, like 15 out of 42, 16 out of 42, done na sa written work number 1, and then for written work number 2 and performance task number 2, 10 and 13 out of 42. Okay, so meron talaga tayong mga classmates na mahilig mag-advance. Okay, so yan, kung di nyo pa perfect, wag nyo na lang tigilan hanggat hindi nyo na perfect. Kasi I think ilang item lang naman sa each activity. Okay, who else? UMS. Check natin yung UMS. Yan. So for the UMS, as you can see, 12 out of 21, 8 out of 21 students na yung nakakasagot. So lagpas kalahati na for the performance task. Lagpas kalahati na at meron talagang nag-a-advance din sa written work number 2. Although hindi pa siya nalilesson, pero kasi diba meron na kayong mga nababasa na rin dyan, meron kasama na yung mga lesson. So merong ibang student na masipag magbasa. Okay, yung iba naman, alam ko merong gumagawa na hindi na nagbabasa na dumidiretso na sa questionnaire. Like, kayo namang bahalang dumiscard. Minsan kasi meron mga student na dumidiretso agad sa question. Tapos kapag nagkamali, then babasahin nila yung part kung saan sila nagkamali. Then sasagutan nila ulit. Okay? I think may ganun, Since may opportunity kayo na magpaulit-ulit, may mga students talaga na diretso na agad question. Okay, so yan, sa UMS, ito yung standing natin. 12 out of 21, 8 out of 21. So makikita natin kung ano ba yung mga mga activities natin. So we have already 4 activities for practical research. Hindi ko sure kung madadagdagan pa yan. Pero most likely ganyan, or 4 or 5 activities. Then ICT last. Okay, so almost half din ng klase. 6 out of 16 students na yung nakakatapos ng written work number 1 and performance task number 1. Okay, so ugaliin natin na kahit mahaba yung deadline, once na na-publish or na-release na ng teacher yung activity, kung may time naman tayo, no, mas better na i-prioritize natin yung mga activities natin. Then, saka tayo maglaro, saka tayo mag-ML, saka tayo gumala. Ayun. Sanayin natin yung mga sarili natin na wag gumala, wag maglaro hanggat hindi tapos yung mga activities. Okay, kapag naging habit nyo naman yan, madadala nyo naman yan hanggang sa mag-work kayo. Mas better na as early as now, ina-exercise nyo na yung ganong attitude, ganong habit. Okay, so yun, before we proceed to practical, tignan natin yung ano nyo, yung entrepreneurship. Hindi natin yung entrepreneurship. Okay, so for the entrepreneurship, although it's not the subject for this day, but yeah, we can check naman. For entrepreneurship, written work number 1 and performance task number 1, we have 20 out of 40 students. We have 14 out of 40 students yung mga nakakasagot na. And then may mga 8 and 6 ng written work number 2 and performance task number 2. Okay, so almost there. Kalahati na lang, no? Okay, that's for ABM. And for gas, at least we can check. Baka isipin nyo wala nang sasagot ng activity nyo, pero yung pala nasasagutan na ng ibang classmate nyo. Okay? And then for the gas, and we have 6 out of 16, 5 out of 16. Baka hindi lang nasasubmit, no? Mga in progress. Yeah, may mga 5 na naman na in progress, meaning ano lang, ongoing pa yung pagsasagot nila niyan. Okay, so yan, mag-weekends na. So you have time na din para magsagot ng assignment. Though dapat weekdays na ito ginagawa eh. So meron mga 2 out of 16 the students for written work and performance task number 2. Okay, and then let's check. Let's check HE. Okay, so 42 students, no, madami-dami. 42 students, yan, halos mga ngalahati na din, no? Isipin mo, 22 out of 42. Isa ka ba dyan? So, nagsasagot na 22 out of 42, lagpas kalahati na agad yung written work number 2, no? Masisipag yung HE. 17 out of 42 for the performance task. And then, lagpas na 10, no? 2-digit na yung written work and performance task number 2 ng entrepreneurship, HE. Okay, let's check Yunes. 21 students. Yeah, meron na. Lagpas kalahati na din for the written work. 12 out of 21. 10 out of 21. 8 out of 21 for the written work. 6 out of 21 for the performance task. Okay, nakikita naman natin yung due date, no? Like 2 weeks na lang pa. 2 to 3 weeks na lang. So, ina-extend ko yan, pero mas better, no? As early as possible, nasasubmit na natin yung mga activities natin. Or na-review man lang, di ba? Para pwedeng ulitin. Okay, for the ICT, ayan, halos kalahati na. Kalahati pala, yan. 8 out of 16, 8 out of 16. And then for the written work, performance task, 4 out of 16. Okay, so any question regarding your activity? None? Okay. Nakita naman natin yung mga nakita nyo naman na may nagsasagot na, halos kalahati. Halos kalahati na ng klase. Okay, so let's proceed. Nasa chapter 1 pa rin tayo. Although, konti lang naman kasi yung topic ng practical research 2. Okay. Okay, so chapter 1. Chapter 1, lesson 3, variables in quantitative research. Okay, so why is there a need to understand the different variables variables in research. Parang ito yung mga X and Y, no? Pag sa math, like, ayun yung mga variables na tinutukoy. Yeah. Okay. So, after this discussion, we should be able to differentiate the kinds of variables used in quantitative research and their uses, apply the different variable concepts in research appropriately. Okay, so how do you think our body changes when you eat nutritious food and exercise regularly? What do you think causes your body to become unhealthy? So type in the chat box, ano kaya yung nakaka-cause sa body natin para maging unhealthy? And ano namang nangyayari, no, kapag kumakain tayo ng nutritious food and exercise regularly? Siyempre nagiging healthy tayo, di ba? Kapag kumakain tayo ng nutritious food and then nag-exercise tayo. And syempre, no, hindi tayo nagkakasakit. And then, ayun, naiiwasan natin mahawa sa iba't ibang klase ng sakit kapag nutritious food and exercise. And then, mas nagiging productive tayo, mas nakakapag-isip tayo na nagagawa natin yung assignment natin kung healthy tayo. Yan. And ano naman yung nagko-cause sa body natin para maging unhealthy? Okay, syempre, ano kaya? Sabi ni Faith Alfonte, yan, yung mga unproductive lifestyle. Ano yung mga example ng mga unproductive lifestyle? Like yung pagpupuyat, ayan, puyat at pagod. Pero make sure, pwede naman magpuyat at magpagod, pero hindi lang palagi. And make sure lang na nagamit natin sa tama or makabuluhang bagay, yung pagpupuyat at pagpapagod natin. For example, nagpuyat ka at napagod ka sa pag-work, napuyat at napagod ka sa pag-aaral. Okay lang yon, pero wag madalas. No? And yan, isa sa mga unproductive lifestyle ay yung mga alak or bisyo. Yan. Nag-aalak ka na, nagbibisyo ka pa, tas puyat ka pa. Diba? Okay, what else? Okay, hindi kumakain sa tamang oras. Yan, nag-i-skip tayo ng food. Dapat hindi natin siya ginagawa. Or mahirap, pangit din naman na kumakain tayo ng sobra, no? Yung tipong kahit busog tayo, kumakain tayo. So, mahirap din yun. So, dapat tamang pagkain lang. Okay, what else? Okay, so, yon yung mga pagkain ng hindi maganda, like mga junk food. Dapat kumakain tayo ng gulay. No? Ayan, junk food. Pagsa-cellphone din, ayan. Kasi isa sa mga, minsan yung pagsa-cellphone natin, like yung pagtutok natin sa mga social media, isa rin yan sa nagkukos ng hindi pagiging stable ng mental health natin. Okay? Hindi nag-exercise, hindi rin kumakain ng fruits and vegetables. Okay? So dapat, sa bagay mga bata pa lang naman kayo, so medyo hindi pa tayo health conscious, no? Like ako, kahit yung mga ganyang edad, hindi pa ako ganun ka self-conscious eh. Like magpupuyat ako, okay lang kasi kaya ko pa naman. Okay lang kumain ng junk food, uminom. Ayan, wag lang maninigarilyo kasi masama rin sa katawan yun. Tapos, alam mo yun, yung pag mga ganyang edad, like yung mga activities mo, wala kang pake na makaka-affect pala siya sa health mo. Pero siguro kapag naging adult na kayo, like mga 25 and above, ganun, parang kusa kang magiging conscious sa health mo eh. Like, kailangan ko na palang mag-diet kasi humihina na yung metabolism ko. Tapos, kailangan ko na palang matulog. Dati kaya akong magpuyat, ngayon hindi na, kailangan natutulog talaga ako. Ganun siguro kapag natanda, di ba? Ayan. So, ayun. So pwede natin i-enjoy yung youth natin. Make sure lang na hindi yung mga activities natin ngayon, hindi siya makaka-affect or wala siyang bad effect kapag tumanda na tayo. Okay? So dapat in moderation yung mga activities and lifestyle natin. Okay? So variables are anything that can be observed by researchers A variable may be a person, thing, place, situation, or phenomenon. Okay? So yung variable natin pwedeng tao. Like, pwedeng tungkol sa tao, like ages, gender. Pag thing naman, pwede naman, like yung mga bagay-bagay, like mga ballpen, anything else. Tapos yung place, like cities, country, continent, situation, or phenomenon. Okay, so different types of variables. Variables can be categorized depending on the level of measurement and role. Okay, so why is it important to understand the roles of variables in research? Dito kasi nanggagaling lahat, no? Kapag nagkaroon tayo ng objective in research, automatic, kakapitan natin yun ng variables. For example, ang research natin is about financial management. So, yung mga objective na gagawin natin or isusulat natin, meron na siyang kapartner na variables. Ano yung mga variables na gagamitin mo para ma-measure mo, no? Para malaman natin kung ano ba talaga yung nire-research natin. Okay, so variables, rules of variables. So we have independent and dependent variables. So, okay, so siyempre, no, kapag dependent variables, nakadepende siya sa mga independent variables. No, like kapag gumalaw tong independent, gagalaw din tong dependent. For example, tumaas yung independent. So itong dependent variables mag-i-increase din or pwede rin naman siyang mag-move down. So anything na movement ng independent nakaka-affect sa mga dependent variables. Okay, so the independent variable are also called causal variable, is presumed to cause the changes towards another variable, okay, which known as a dependent variable or outcome variable. Okay, so any movement na ginagawa ng dependent variable is nakaka-affect sa dependent variables. Either mag-i-increase din siya or magdi-decrease, parang ganun. Okay, so the independent variable may influence another variable to change. In experimental research, independent variables may also be manipulated to examine the specific effect they may have over the dependent variable. So last time, di ba, ang ni-research natin, ang naging example ng experiment natin is yung light, and then yung sunlight, and then yung plant. Okay? So yung tawag dito. Okay. So yung independent variable doon is yung sunlight. Ayan, and then yung dependent variable doon is yung growth ng plant. Okay? So yung sunlight kapag binabawasan niya, for example, dim light, so yung growth, yung magiging dependent variable natin which is yung growth, lumiliit yung growth. Lumiliit yung yung amount niya, okay, or yung number niya. Kapag sufficient sunlight naman, pag tinatapat natin siya sa sufficient sunlight or tamang sunlight na nire-receive ng plant, so maganda yung tubo ng halaman. So parang ganun. Okay, so again, yung independent variable natin, for example, is the sunlight, and then yung dependent natin is yung growth. Okay, so the dependent variables are variables that are influenced by independent variables. So pwede nating i-manipulate or pwede nating bagu-baguhin yung number, i-increase or i-decrease natin yung independent variables so we can check kung ano yung naging effect nito sa mga dependent variables. Okay, so for example, research is determining the effects of self-motivation on the productivity of employees. Okay, so first, yung independent variable natin is yung self-motivation. And then yung dependent variable natin is yung productivity of employees. Okay, so how do you think self-motivation can affect the employee productivity? Okay, so paano, sa tingin nyo, paano nakaka-apekto yung self-motivation sa productivity ng employees? Kapag ba mataas yung self-motivation, bumababa ang productivity ng employees? Or kapag tumataas ang self-motivation, tumataas din yung productivity ng employees. What do you think? Okay, so sabi ni Raymart, which is correct, and ni Naomi Miko, kapag, syempre, no, pag mataas ang self-motivation natin, tumataas din yung productivity ng mga employees. Syempre, pag confident siya, mas madali niya natatapos yung mga task niya kasi nga gagawin niya agad kasi sure siya na alam niya yung ginagawa niya. Okay? So, unlike na kapag hindi ka motivated or kumbaga parang, yun nga, demotivated ka. So, more like, unti lang yung mga tasks na natatapos mo. Okay. So, next example, a research is trying to determine the effectiveness of different coaching style in volleyball teams. Coaching styles and win streak. Okay, so how do you think different coaching styles affect the win streak of volleyball team? So ngayon, hindi naman gagamit ng measurement dito. So ang ginagamit natin dito is yung parang multiple choice. So anong coaching style kaya yung effective, no, para mas maging mataas yung win streak? Okay, so I'm not that familiar sa mga coaching style sa volleyball eh. So yun, parang ganun siya, no? So multiple choice naman to, no? Instead na yung katulad sa self-motivation na ini-increase and dinidecrease. Ngayon naman, we have to choose kung ano ba yung coaching style na effective or magpapataas ng win streak. Okay, so mutating variables. Mutating variables are also known intervening variables since they intervene between the independent and dependent variables to show their connection. Okay, so a research wants to know the effect of working 7 days a week on the employee's productivity level. Okay, 7 days a week, ibig sabihin wala kang day off, di ba? Di ba usually sa atin 5 to 6 days, like yung iba nga swerte na meron silang 2 days na leave, while eto no 7 days a week. So, let's check kung ano kayang magiging effect niya. Yung independent natin is yung 7-day work week. Yung dependent variable natin is yung productivity level. And then, mutating variable, yung job satisfaction. Okay, so ito-check natin kapag nag 7-day work week ba, mataas ba yung productivity level, and meron bang job satisfaction? So what do you think makes job satisfaction the mutating variable? Okay, so a mutating variable may act as dependent variable and independent variable at the same time. Okay, so dito, chine-check natin, pwede kasi yung mutating variable, pwede daw siya maging dependent or independent. For example, 7-day work week. Tapos syempre, no, kapag consistent yung 7-day work week natin, more likely yung productivity level is bumababa. Like, kasi syempre, di ba, wala kang pahinga. Di ba? Wala kang day off. So, may natatapos, sa una siguro, marami kayo natatapos kasi 7 days a week. Pero as time goes by, kapag wala kayong pahinga, no, like, naka-exhausted na kayo, yung mga next weeks niyan, lumiliit na yung productivity nyo kasi wala kayong pahinga, wala kayong tulog. So, hindi nyo agad natatapos yung task kasi nga, syempre, pag puyat kayo, hindi kayo nakakapag-isip ng maayos. So, here, sine-check nito kung itong mutating variable, like yung job satisfaction, kung may connection ba siya sa nangyayari. Okay, so, satisfied kaya meron kayang satisfy kaya yung mga employees sa nangyayari. Okay, so kung ako yung tatanungin, no, I feel ko hindi siya masasatisfy, no, kasi nga walang pahinga. Pero it depende kasi yan sa tao. Meron kasi mga tao na workaholic talaga, like kaya nilang mag-work ng walang pahinga. So, syempre, no, yung productivity level nababawasan talaga as time goes by, pero maaaring satisfied pa rin sila. Okay, nagigets ba natin? Okay? Okay, so for sure, no, yung pag consistent yung 7-day work week, for sure, no, mga next months niyan, yung productivity level bababa talaga. Okay? But yung job satisfaction, depende yan sa tao. Merong mga taong, ano talaga, kayang mag-work ng dire-diretso pero satisfy pa rin sila. Pero unlike me, kapag walang pahinga, walang day off, syempre hindi na ako masasatisfy no, kahit sinesweldohan ako, di ba? Syempre, sino ba namang ayaw ng walang pahinga, di ba? Okay, so moderating variables are variables that have a strong condition effect. It may modify the relationship between the independent and dependent variables. So meron na naman isang variable na nag-test ng relationship between independent and dependent variables using condition effects. So research wants to know the effects of exercising regularly on one's weight loss. So yung independent variable natin here is the regular exercise, and then weight loss, and then gender. Okay, so here, chine-check natin kung parang ano to para siyang comparative research. Okay, so meron tayong chine-check no kung gaano ba kabilis mag-weight loss ang male than and yung versus female. Okay, so meron tayong regular exercise, and then gaano kalaki yung weight loss between male and female. Okay? So, kunyari, maaaring consistent silang dalawa na nag-weight loss, pero iba yung amount. So, maaaring mas malaki magbawas ng timbang ang lalaki sa babae. So, depende, no? Depende sa lalabas na numbers kapag nag-research tayo. Okay? So, what do you think makes gender a moderating variable? Okay, so a mediating. Okay, so the difference between mediating and moderating variables. So a mediating variable should act as dependent variable with respect to independent variable and may also cause to change to the dependent variable. While a moderating variable must not be directly affected by independent variable and should not result to it in any way. Okay, nagets ba natin? Yung mediating variable, para silang nag-act as dependent or independent variable. Okay? Merong cases na nakaka-affect siya sa dependent, meron din cases na hindi. Like yung job satisfaction kanina. No? Okay, yung moderating variable naman, dapat hindi siya directly na naaapektuhan ng independent variable. Okay, para lang siyang condition like parang comparative research, parang kino-compare lang natin yung weight loss kung may regular exercise between male and female. Okay, pero hindi siya directly na nakaka-affect yung independent like yung regular exercise doon sa gender. Okay. Extraneous variables are variables that should be mainly excluded from the research study as they may interfere and compromise with the experiment and research result. Okay, so most likely ang nakaka-discover nito is yung mga statistician. Like kapag meron, yun nga, kapag nagkaroon na kayo ng research tapos ano na kayo, parang mag-experiment na kayo ng 20, kumbaga parang mag-conduct na kayo ng research for 20 person just to check kung effective yung questionnaire. So doon nakikita ng mga statistician yung mga variables na hindi kailangan or can directly affect yung sense ng research. Okay, so for example, research wants to know the effect of how poor garbage disposal can have an impact on pollution. Okay, so how poor garbage disposal can have an impact on pollution. Okay, poor garbage disposal and then pollution. So, environmental factors and people. So, parang hindi na siya necessary kasi ang chine-check lang naman natin dito is yung pollution. Okay? The pollution itself. So, parang unnecessary na just to check the environmental factors. Yan, and then yung people. Okay, so the measurement level, also called scale of measure, gives you an idea of the type of data you have. Okay, so level of measurement can be classified into categorical and continuous measures of variable. Categorical is further categorized into nominal and ordinal levels, while a continuous variable is categorized into interval and ratio. Parang kanina yung, ano ba yung kanina? Yung sa may self-motivation, that can be an example of continuous variable. While yung isa naman, yung coaching style, that can be an example of categorical variable. So kinakategorize natin yung mga type of coaching style, and bawat category na yun, ano yung effective and can produce high win streak. Okay. So categorical variables, a nominal variable is any variable that represents different types of data which may be divided into groups or categories. There is no intrinsic order, hence its frequencies can only be counted. Okay, so yun, parang ito yung mga research or yung mga survey forms na nakikita natin na merong multiple choice. For example, ano bang gusto nating pagkain? Gusto ba natin seafood? That can be category, seafood, meat, ano ba, as vegetable lang ba, ano bang, or fruits, something like that. Parang wala siyang interval, kumbaga parang may category talaga. Okay, so that can also, for example, then yung race, ethnicity, and then yung hair color. So, ano bang race, yung ano bang race kaya yung magiging target market natin, Asian ba, ganon. Okay, so sa ethnicity din, and then yung hair color, black, blonde ba, brown, yan. So, ganon. Kumbaga walang interval, kumbaga. So, an ordinal variable is any variable that may be also divided into groups or categories, but it has intrinsic order or rank. Its frequencies can be both counted and ranked in which distance between categories is not equivalent. So, for example, year of graduation, brands of bags, food preferences. So, parang meron siyang hierarchy, and then pipili tayo kung saan doon. Okay, so ito naman yung next, yung continuous variables. Okay. Gets ba natin yung last, yung ordinal, and then yung nominal? Yung nominal, ito yung parang walang connection sa isa't isa, pero ayun, may kinakategorize tayong mga data, group and categories. While ito naman, yung ordinal naman, meron siyang hierarchy, meron siyang rank. So next naman yung continuous variables natin, an interval variables is a variable that has a numerical value. It can be counted and ranked. And the difference between the rank categories are meaningful. There is no true 0 point. Yung rank, like, kunyari, di ba, nung nag-ano kayo na, ano ba tawag dito? Yung sa mga teacher kapag, nag-evaluate kayo ng teacher. So, gaano ba kayo kasatisfy sa pagtuturo niya? 1 to 5. 5 is the highest, 1 is the lowest. Ganon. Ayun yung pwedeng mag-rank ka. Or, pwede rin namang sa food, what else? Yung food, tas irarank mo kung ano ba yung pinaka-favorite mo and up to lowest. Ganun, pwedeng ganun sa. Okay, so for example, you know that the difference or interval between 25 and 35 is the same as between 20 degrees and 20. So para silang 10. Just like in the example, if you say negative degrees, then it means below freezing point. Okay, so pwede rin ditong maging example is yung mga salary. For example, kung nakakita na ba kayo ni income tax table, yun. So merong mga bracket din doon. Yan, pwede kayong pumili. Like, parang nagiging ano na rin siya pang middle class or lowest bracket or highest bracket. So, pwede rin siya maging example. Okay, so next. Ratio variable is an interval value, but unlike the interval value, it has a true zero. It has a numerical value and the meaning which can also be counted, ranked, and has meaningful difference between values. There is a true 0 point, which means that nothing exists for that variable, and that zero simply means none. So, for example, a person's weight can be counted or ranked, or you can determine the equivalent distance between person's weight with another. So, if you say that there is a 0 kilogram, there is no weight measured at all, and there is no difference in their weight. Wala naman siguro may weight ng 0 kilogram. Diba? Wala namang ganun. Ayun. So, it is important that as a researchers, we are knowledgeable about variables because research mainly revolves around them. So, yun, we need to know kung ano ba talagang variables yung gagamitin natin kasi ito talaga yung pinaka-heart ng quantitative research. Okay, so you can list down as many variables as you can in the given phenomenon. Like climate change, syempre isa sa mga variables na pwede natin gamitin to check the climate change is yung number ng bagyo na dumadating. Yan. Yung mga storm na dumadating, yung mga habagat, yung number na yon. So just to check kung accurate pa ba yung number na dumadating na bagyo sa atin. But else, syempre yung maximum tawag dito, maximum degrees Celsius. Kapag hindi na siya yung normal na degrees Celsius na nararanasan natin from before, then baka nagbabago na talaga yung klima, di ba? Political system in the Philippines. Ayan, meron tayong, parang pwede tayong mamili kung ano yung political system na pwedeng ilagay sa Pilipinas, yung like two-party lang or multiple party. And then, kung ano bang pwede rin tayong magpalit ng like democracy or communism or anything else. Ayun yung types of political system. So, low customer retention, ano ba yung mga, siguro yung satisfaction. Ayan, isa sa mga variables natin is yung satisfaction based sa survey. And then, yung number ng sales. So syempre, no, kapag mataas yung number of sales, ibig sabihin, meron tayong high customer retention. Kapag mababa naman yung sales natin, ibig sabihin, wala nang bumabalik sa atin. Okay? Ayun. Okay? You can think of any variables then in this topic. Climate change, political system, low customer retention. Quick check. There are 4 variables that are based on level of measurement. Ano kaya yun? Like yung categorical tsaka yung continuous, meron pang dalawa dun, di ba? Like pag categorical, yung nominal and ordinal. Kapag kapag continuous naman, ano ba yung sa may continuous? I forgot. Okay, so yan, wrap up. Variables are anything that can be subjects for observation done by researcher. Variables vary in terms of rule and level of measurement in the research. And the level of measurement can be classified as categorical and continuous variable. So role of variables, we have independent, dependent, deviating, moderating, and extraneous variables are typically encountered in research writing. Okay, so do we have any question regarding variables? None? Okay, so if none, let's move on to chapter 2. Okay, so for the chapter 2, developing a research problem. Okay, so ano na tayo, title making na tayo, no? So gagawa na tayo ng mga research title. Okay, but first, no, before we proceed in creating or writing the title, so let's identify a quantitative research problem. Okay, so where should we get our research problems? And how do we identify them? So, saan kaya tayo nakakakuha ng research problem? So, syempre, no, kung ano yung nakikita natin sa community natin, or sa school natin, or sa bahay natin. Okay, so nagmumula yan kung may nakikita tayong problema, or meron tayong gustong pag-aralan, no, within our community, or kahit saan, no, na minsan nakaka-affect din sa atin. Okay. So at the end of this discussion, we should be able to identify the range of topics in the field of inquiry, understand the process of identifying research topics. Okay, so how do you think can we identify where to get our topics from? Okay, so paano ba natin na-identify? Ayan, and why is identifying topics crucial at the beginning of research writing? Okay, so identifying the area of inquiry, ability to choose a topic is an essential skill to start a good research paper. It is important that you pick out a relevant and valuable topic and maximize the resources that you have. Okay, so yun, kapag ito yung pinaka-challenging na part is yung pag-iisip kung ano ba yung topic na pipiliin natin. Okay? So, maraming techniques para makahanap ka ng magandang topic. Ang technique ko nun para makahanap ako ng topic is sine-check ko agad yung mga, kung available ba yung resources ko, no? Or yung mga backups ko sa mga library or internet or Google or any basta reliable source. Okay, na makaka-relate din ako. Makaka-relate sa work mo, makaka-relate sa course mo, and then sa skills mo. Okay, so steps in identifying the area of inquiry. First, you brainstorm for ideas. When brainstorming, it is more advisable to concentrate on topics that interest you. It is also helpful if you focus on your field. Ayan. So, syempre, unang-una, a topic that is your interest, and then kung ano ba yung field mo. For example, ako ang work ko is accounting, then so yung topic na pinapapili lang talaga sa akin that should revolves around finance lang. Hindi ako pwedeng kumuha ng topic from other work, no? Kasi unang-una hindi ko naman forte yun. So, hindi ko siya ganun madedefend. Brainstorming helps you in narrowing down the topic that you are mostly interested in and look at the other perspective that might be related to it. So usually kapag nag-list down ka na ng mga topics, so syempre kaakibat nun is may nakaready ka ng title. So, isa sa mga nakaka-brainstorm mo dito is yung mga panelists din eh. Yan. Parang merong ano yun eh, approving or approval of research title. Okay, so nililist down nyo yung mga topics and then so syempre chine-check mo na yung mga factors no para i-consider mo yung mga topics na yun. So unang-una, kung yung mga resources mo ba or yung reliable source mo ba is available. And then kung makakapag-survey ka ba, gaano ba ka-available yung mga pagsasurveyan mo? Ayan, reachable ba sila? If not, kung tingin mo hindi pala available yung mga respondents mo, depende dun sa research mo, then wag mo nang ituloy. Ayan, marami pang mga considerations. You need to make sure that there are resources about your topic. It gives you a preview of the possible availability of related literature of your topic of interest. Though itong related literature, nagre-reflect pa naman yan sa mga chapter 2 or parang part 2 ng research natin. Sa unang-una pa lang na nag-iisip ka ng topic mo, magbabasa ka kaagad kung available ba yung resources mo. Kasi itong related of literature, ito yung part ng research natin wherein dito natin nilalagay lahat ng backups natin. Like, saan ang galing tong dinedefend mo, kanino ba galing to, yung mga writers niyan, yung mga authors niyan. Dapat, nag-iisip ka pa lang ng topic, tinitignan mo na agad yung internet, tinitignan mo na agad yung mga books, kung makakakuha ka ba ng idea or ng study. No, kasi kailangan mo ng related literature usually kapag college. Merong minimum amount or minimum number ng related literature na dapat ilagay mo doon sa research mo. For example, sa amin, dapat 25 pag mga Filipino authors, 25 pag foreign authors, ganun. So madami, no? So dapat i-check mo agad bago ka mag-isip, bago mo i-declare na yun yung topic mo. Okay? Kasi baka magsisi ka, no? Kapag na-approve na yung topic mo and then nung nag-start ka na magsulat, doon mo nalaman na ay hindi pala available, sobrang unti lang pala yung resources or ng study about this topic na napili ko. Okay? So make sure, no? Yan, bago tayo mamili ng topic natin, i-check agad natin yung mga resources nun. Okay, kung nakita natin sa internet or dun sa basta reliable source, even Wikipedia is not a reliable source. And siguro yung mga mga government sites, yung mga school sites, ayan, yung mga university sites, ayun yung mga reliable source. Pero yung mga Wikipedia or yung mga hindi yung mga .edu.ph or .gov.ph, hindi yun mga reliable source. So yun, maging thankful kayo kung hindi ganun kahigpit yung school na mapupuntahan nyo. Pero, ayun, yung basic school na napuntahan ko, medyo mahigpit sila sa related literature. And usually, ang kinukuha lang nilang related literature is between, dapat hanggang 5 years before. Okay, so yun, i-check mo agad. Kung sa topic na favorite mo, hindi pala available yung mga related literature mo, i-give up mo na yan, mag-isip ka pa ng another topic. Kasi that's for your sake, para hindi ka mahirapan na natapusin yung topic mo. Okay, so yun, basa, read, and read. Use keywords and concepts related to your topics and explore on different sources. Yan. So for example, ako financial management. Okay, so lahat ng topic na may kinalaman sa financial management, chinek ko na agad kung available. Okay. So yun, nakahanap naman ako ng topic na available talaga yung mga studies about it. Okay, make your matrix. Look into the research gaps when reading different resources and previous researches. Okay, so yun, make sure lang yung napili mong topic since college ka pa lang naman at hindi naman from the scratch yung topic mo. So, i-check mo, no, baka merong same na study na meron ka. So, magkakaiba lang kayo ng respondents. So, acceptable yun. Okay, research gaps are areas of the study that remain unanswered, hence it openness to be researched about. So, for example, marami ng topic about financial management, like yung mga financial literacy, if you have heard that. So, ako naman ang ginawa ko, pinag-aralan ko yung financial literacy between senior and non-senior. For example, paano ba mag-handle ng pera ang mga senior, like 60 and above, and those na hindi pa senior. Siyempre, iba yung kultura ng mga ganong generation, di ba? Sa kultura ng generation natin. Okay, so identifying research gaps may prevent the replication of the exact topics that we are already studied before. It helps you to get over the so what question. Okay, so research gaps are helpful in exploring for potential research topics. For instance, you may look into recommendation to future researches in previous studies. It also useful to review the scope of the study to help you identify possible research gaps. Okay, so next, describe your topic of interest briefly. Okay, so kapag nag-research title defense ka na, make sure lang na parang simple but smart yung pagde-describe mo dun sa topic mo. Kung ano lang yung mga importante. Yan. Analyze the angle of the topic you are really interested in. Know the value of the research topics to focus on the perspective why it is relevant. Describing your topic briefly may give you an overview if the topic is feasible to be researched about. Okay, so read again. You must check the availability of the literature of your chosen topic as you may encounter modification in research writing. Okay, so just make sure, no, kung pwede lang bilangin mo na agad yung mga studies na available for your topic. Or else, babalik ka ulit sa umpisa. Papaulitin yung topic mo. Okay, it may include changing the topic itself. Yan, mas mahirap to, no, kapag pinabago yung topic mo kasi nga, parang back to start ka eh. Parang start from the scratch ka, iisip ka ulit ng topic mo. And then, maswerte ka kung variables lang and others as there may be too much or too little available literature. Okay, formulate your working title. So yon, kapag nag-check ka na ng topic, minsan nakakaisip na rin tayo ng title natin. Okay, your working title focuses on the direction of your study. It helps you determine your variables and may give you a preview of its possible dynamics within your research. So dapat subtitle mo pa lang, no, alam na agad kung ano yung mga possible variables na gagamitin mo. Okay, so working titles may change as the research writing also progresses. So merong mga chances na nagbabago yung titles natin. Okay, kunyari, hindi available yung resources na kailangan natin, so medyo kailangan natin baguhin ng onte. So babaguhin din natin yung working titles natin. Okay, so yun, ayan, ang tip lang talaga is bilangin agad natin yung related literature natin bago tayo mag-submit ng topic or bago tayo magpa-approve ng topic para hindi tayo mahirapan or else magkakaroon yan ng mga major revision. No, more likely, papalitan yung topic mo, back to zero ka nun. So how do you think variables are related with the range of topics in the area of inquiry? So, designing a research useful in daily life. It is up to you to decide on what interests you and what you view as relevant and present in your specific field of specialization. Okay, so designing a research useful in daily life, the following are topics in different fields that may be used in research writing. Okay, so pag accounting, no, you can use accounting system, like ano ba yung pinaka-effective na accounting system? So it depends on the industry. So forensic accounting, ito interesting tong forensic accounting para tong mga NBI ba yun? Yung mga nag-iimbestiga, nakakatawa to kasi itong forensic accounting, ang ginagawa nito is iniimbestigahan nila yung isang company, like magpapanggap silang empleyado just to check kung parang nag-audit na rin sila yan. Mga nagpapanggap yung empleyado yung mag-a-apply, and then sine-check nila if maayos yung trato ng HR, and then how's the stability of the business. Yan, para itong mga NBI ng accounting, forensic accounting. Although unti lang siya sa Pilipinas, more likely sa ibang bansa to eh. Pero meron siya sa Pilipinas, pero unti lang, forensic accounting. Collusion in auditing, tax minimization, ito sa mga public accounting firm to. So yan, kasi there are two types of tax minimization. One is the legal, which is the tax avoidance. And yung isang illegal naman, which is dapat i-avoid talaga ng every taxpayer, is yung tax evasion. Okay? So, yung tax avoidance, okay lang yung legal yun. But the tax evasion is not. Magkakaroon tayo ng penalty. Accounting practices for online business. Okay, so, ayan, since nag-boost na yung mga online business ngayon, ano ba yung masasuggest nating accounting practices for them? And then financial markets, yung mga stocks, mga bonds, business and management, green marketing. So syempre yung eco-friendly, eco-lover, online shop, and then working environment. Pangit ba? Ano yung reason kung bakit madami nagre-resign? So let's check the working environment. Marketing strategy. Yan. We are suggesting marketing strategy to check kung ano bang effective na marketing strategy. So, syempre, isa sa mga variable natin is yung sales. Kapag mga ganito na yung sales. Budgeting strategy. Ano ba yung mga pwedeng maging variable dito? Syempre, yung number ng pwedeng mag-fund doon sa business natin, and then yung mga cost, yung mga expenses. Yeah. And then leadership style, ano ba yung leadership style na effective para ma-retain natin yung mga employees natin and then maging productive. Meron tayong tinatawag na micromanagement, wherein bawat galaw mo is check ng leader, ng manager, or meron namang non-micromanagement or non-micromanager, yung hinahayaan kayo sa mga decisions nyo. Basta maganda yung output. The environmental and earth science, marine pollution, genetics, conservation, recycling, sustainability, soil contamination, and environmental ethics. Health science, homeopathy, the tolerance, vaccination, stress, mental health, global health security. Education, GRIT, inclusive education, teaching strategies, 21st century learning, homeschooling, and motivation. Pwede rin online learning, online classes. Social sciences, para sa mga youths, I think. Discrimination, equality in the electorate, stereotyping, patriotic sentiments, migration, juvenile delinquency. Okay, so humanities, taboo, symbolism in art, folklore, film aesthetics, indigenous cultures, religious influences. Okay, so do we have any question? None? Okay, none? If none, let's proceed to writing a research title. Okay, so wala kayong question? Okay, sige, wala. Okay, so next, developing a research problem, lesson 2, writing a research title. Okay, so yun, nakaisip na tayo ng topic, so let's check kung paano natin sulatin yung title natin. What is the importance of well-written research title? Okay, so syempre, no, isa sa magandang effect or benefit ng magandang title is will attract readers and mas naiintindihan nila or parang yung parang nagkakaroon agad ng interest yung mga readers para basahin yung whole topic mo. Okay, so at the end of this discussion, we should be able to identify the characteristic of a well-written research title, construct a research title. Okay, so what is the title of this book? The Columbia Viking Best Encyclopedia. Do you think the title is related to the story? How do you think the story and the title are related? So usually, di ba pag sa mga movies, ano ba yung sa mga, parang minsan meron sa maalaala mo kaya, para mag-isip ng title, pero bagay, na dapat related doon sa naging story. Okay, so writing a research title concisely summarizes the content of the study. It is important to ensure that it differentiates the study from other existing research. Okay, so make sure na kapag nag-rate tayo ng title, since di ba nag-review tayo ng mga related literature, so dapat sa title pa lang na-identify na or na-differentiate na natin yung sarili natin study from other studies. Kunyari, kung financial management pa, hindi pa din financial management lang yung title natin. Kasi broad yun at maraming nagtatopic ng financial management. So how do we differentiate or study from other studies? Okay, so characteristic of well-structured research title, focused and direct, should include the variables and the field of inquiry of the study, provides an idea of the study's content. So for example, sa akin, ang naging title ko nun is, so syempre no, in-include ko na agad kung anong klaseng study siya. Like, pwede mong ilagay doon a qualitative research or a qualitative study of etc. Ganon. So ang akin, susulat ko lang sa sa comparative study of financial management between pre and post employed in Metro Manila. Okay, so sa akin, ganito yung naging research title ko. Ayan, a comparative study of financial management between pre and post employees in Metro Manila. So naging comparative siya kasi kino-compare ko yung behavior, yung financial behavior, financial literacy ng pre and post, meaning pag pre, ibig sabihin ano pa to, mga hindi pa retired. And yung parang mga hindi pa senior, gano'n, like 60, parang 60 and above. And the post, pag mga 60 and above na. Okay, in Metro Manila, so meaning, yung variables ko dito is yung pre and post employees, yung age nila. So dalawa lang yung naging category ng age ko doon. Yung working natin, which is yung 18 to 60 and then 61 to 18 to 59 years old and then 62 and above, ganon. Employees, meaning mga BPO employees pala to, yan. Pre and post BPO employees in Metro Manila. So dapat within Metro Manila lang din yung respondents ko kasi nga na-mention ko dito is within Metro Manila lang, di ba? So, hindi ako pwede magkaroon ng respondents from other cities or other provinces. Okay? Then sa financial management ko, ayan, merong mga topics inside the financial management which are the financial behavior and then the financial literacy. Yan. Okay, so gano'n, no? Dapat sa research pa lang natin, research title pa lang natin, nandun na lahat. Like, topic, yung variables. Okay. Okay, so formal. Formal tone should not contain abbreviation, jargons, and colloquial. Terms unless they are main focus of the study. Okay, so I think since 1 hour na, let's just continue na lang next week. Okay, about this research title. Okay, so do we have any question? Okay, so if not, let's end this class. Thank you.